Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. We know your time is valuable, and we hope to contribute to your understanding of these products and ultimately help you in your sales. Today our focus is going to be on LED as a light source for recessed cans. That covers recessed can retrofits, new construction cans, remodel cans, and architectural cans in sizes from 4 inches up to 8 inches, accessories and options. We'll cover both residential and commercial products. We'll also talk about HID and CFL equivalencies and our recommendations and much more. We're going to start today with the residential retrofit models. 4-inch retrofit model is at 9 watts and it uses a friction clip for mounting. We also have 2 6-inch models, 12 watt and a 14 watt, 27 and 3000 Kelvin. All 3 of these models come with an Edison pigtail for quick and easy installation. The 4-inch mounts with friction clips, and the 6-inch, both 12 and 14 watts, mount with tension springs, or also known as torsion springs and chicken legs. The 4-inch 9 watt is a 120 through 277 universal driver. It is dimmable, but dimmable with 0 to 10, and we have recommended dimming switches available for you at MaxLite.com. The 6-inch, which is also universal voltage, is only dimmable at 120 volts. Will not dim on the 277 side. You'll get flashing and strobing and erratic performance. It is designed and will only dim at 120 volts. It will operate fully functionally at 277 volts with an on and off circuit. We also have an optional GU24 base for those fixtures that have been fitted with GU24 sockets. Optionally, you can buy the GU24 adapter so that you can just twist it into the GU24 socket and snap the other end on the back of the retrofit kit. Again, this is not standard with each package, but is optionally available. Another option, which is long overdue, frankly, are what we're calling the C brackets. About 80-85% of the cans, particularly 6-inch, are already fitted on the inside with this type of C bracket. That's where the torsion springs, also known as chicken legs, catch onto in order to be mounted and pushed flush to the can. But there are 15 or so % of the cans that do not have this type of C bracket. Those are the cans in which the trim ring mounts in a different manner. So for those, we do have this optional C bracket. They just screw into place somewhere low in the can, about 180 degrees apart. Very simple to install. Let's jump over to the new construction cans. For 4-inch, MaxLite has 2 distinct styles. We have the commercial can, which mounts with the springs. This type is normally installed into the ceiling before the sheetrock goes up. We also have the architectural can. Both of these have the driver set away from the heater of the LED array to minimize heat and to maximize life and to maintain lumens over longer periods of time. Additionally, we have in the 6-inch both the new construction and the architectural cans as well with the same mounting, also with the driver set remote. Now, although the driver is set remote for both the 4 and the 6, there's no additional wiring that needs to be done. These are all pre-wired and they connect together with simple snap-together mechanisms. So there's no actual wiring that has to be done other than the main input power. The driver, again, is pre-wired to the fixtures. To install this fixture takes no longer than a fluorescent or an HID or any other type. Again, all pre-wired. Lastly, we have for both 4 and 6-inch remodel cans. These are the type of cans that are designed to go into the ceiling later after the sheetrock has been installed. They mount with, maybe difficult to see, they're much clearer on the 6-inch on the right side of the screen, but we have arms that come down and land on top of the sheetrock, holding the fixture in place, kind of squeezed between the trim ring and these bars that very simply snap down in place from the inside of the can. Very clever mounting. Let's jump over to the 8-inch, the commercial side. We have both the commercial and the architectural for mounting types. These also have the remote drivers for cooler running, longer lasting products. And this box that you see in the middle of the whip connector is really what's special about the MaxLite fixture, in that you probably know all your electrical connections in the ceiling must be in an enclosed box. So what we've done is we put the box on the whip. so that we meet the intents of the safety certifying bodies such as UL and ETL, and yet still have a floating box that makes the mounting and wiring of this product much easier than anything in the market. The commercial fixture will have 4-inch, 6-inch, 8-inch, and 9-inch, and look for additional sizings in the coming months. We have 26-watt light engine available for all 4 sizes, and in the coming months we'll be adding additional wattages, including dimming wattages. 30 and 40 watts will be the next to join the family. So you'll be able to have a 4-inch, probably with a maximum of 26 watts. You can have a 9-inch that can house 26, 30, or 40 watts, coming very soon. We have a question from Mike, which is a great question, Mike. Thank you for asking. Mike's asking, how does a remote driver improve the cooling? Well, Mike, in most of these fixtures that you'll find for LED and recessed cans, as well as screw-in bulbs in LED for recessed cans, you'll find that the driver circuit as well as the light array are cohabitating in the same space. The driver electronic components generate their own heat. As we know, the LEDs also generate their own heat. So having them cohabitate actually snowballs the increased heat and affects the components and degrades them over time. So by keeping them cooler, and we keep them cooler by separating them, we do have a lower or slower lumen depreciation. Hal, that's a great question. Hal from Denver. Thanks for asking, Hal. I mentioned that look for additional options coming in the next couple of months. A wall wash version, the eyeball type, where you can steer the light from one side to the next, is on the drawing board for inclusion with these. We'll probably come out in one size or another initially, and then eventually grow to all the different can sizes. Some specs on these. These, like the 4 and 6-inch retrofits, are universal voltage. At the same time, please let me be clear, they only dim on the 120 side. We're looking in the future to have full dimmability throughout the voltage range, 120 through 277, but as of this moment, they dim on the 120 only. They perform excellent at 277 volts as an on and off product, but no dimming. I will also give you a quick teaser and tell you that we are currently working on a battery backup system for these commercial cans. So that will be coming in the next couple of months as well. Now looking at the 8 and 9-inch sizes, you can see that we have a variety of wattages, 26 and 34, and in the near future, as I mentioned earlier, we'll be bringing on a 30 and a 40 with full dimmability throughout the voltage range. Some features of the architectural 8-inch. We have built into it, as I mentioned, a universal voltage power supply, and I should mention that that does pick up the oddball 208 and 240 volt in between, so it accommodates all the voltages through 120 through 277. It has a half-inch EMT conduit that is built in. It has ability to hang on lathing channels or T-bar grids. We can do up to a 5-inch vertical adjustment on the socket. Not quite what we're looking for fully directional, but we're working towards that. We have a junction box to house the hard wiring connections, obviously, suitable for damp location. This product is IC and AT rated. If you're not familiar with those terms, we'll have a little more on that in a moment. Cheryl from Rainier asked a great question. When are we looking at the 40 watt for the 9-inch? It is our hope to have it in the second quarter. Best case would be light fair, which I think is very optimistic, Cheryl. I think July timeframe, August worst case, is a reasonable expectation for that. It is, by the way, it is a very long haul for these products to get through UL certification. And then, of course, we can submit after UL or ETL for the Energy Star. All of these products fall under Energy Star certification, not DLC. Downlighting is Energy Star. DLC does not have a category for these products. All of these products are 5-year warranty, and they all have, at a very, very, very minimum, 50,000 hours at L70. I've looked at the chips. We're using LumaLED chips in these products, and I think you can anticipate in the average installation where temperature-controlled environment, we're looking at a good 70 to 80,000 L70 lifetime on these products. Because we're taking out multiple types of light sources all the way back to HID, and for the most part these days pin-based PLs, whether they be 18 or 26 or 2 times. In some cases they're still using 13s, particularly in the 4-inch can. We do have this chart available for you, and it will be put online. Also some HID equivalencies for your convenience as well. Question from Richard out of Vermont. Can one insulate over and around these lights? If you build a box around them, how large is the box required? Good question, Richard. Because these are IT and AC rated, you are allowed to pack these with insulation. So if you're looking to make a particular box, this is the right type of product. How much space is required? That's a question that I'm not prepared to answer at this moment, but I can say it's IC and AT rated, that packing it with insulation, touching the can, is absolutely allowed. I want to spend another minute showing you the Quick Connect box that comes in the cable. As you can see, when you snap open this box, and it opens without tools, fully safety certified, you snap it open and then you have a pigtail apparatus, male-female, for making your electrical connection. So while you have your can and all in your hand, to hardwire it, you're doing it outside of the hole. You're simply snapping together the male-female connector and then snapping together the electrical box that surrounds it, and you've just made your primary electrical connection, and you did it in the open area of the room as opposed to as small as a 4-inch hole up inside of your ceiling. Friction clips. We supply 2 different types of friction clips, and I first want to state that the overwhelming majority of the time you will not need either of these friction clips, because the clips that were used to hold the old light source, the old can in place, are likely fine. We expected a lot of those to be rusty and bent and just fall out when we did the retrofit, but we've done thousands of these now at this point, and we found that most of them, the spring clips that exist or the friction clips that exist, are just fine. But in those cases where the spring clips have, bounced out for some reason, or maybe were bent or just outright missing, we have 2 different styles for you. We have on the right here what we'll call the wing type, and on the left we will call the tooth type. If I could draw your attention, forgive this crude drawing of mine, it's the best I can do until we get some photographs for you, but the wing type would mount with a screw through the hole about 120 degrees apart, evenly spaced around the fixture. It would then put these wings pushing into the center of the fixture so that when the retrofit kit went up in there, the friction would hold it in place. We also have the tooth style. The tooth style requires no screw to install. It actually snaps onto the bottom of the metal ring that exists in the ceiling from the old can, and again, it leans forward with teeth that will bind into the retrofit kit as you push it up into the hole. So we have both types available in each kit. We also have a goof ring. The goof ring is for those places where, the hole wasn't exactly round, or we're going from an 8-inch to a 7-inch and we need to cover up the distance in between. I have found recently that the 8-inch Lightolier light caster fixture can be retrofitted with the 6-inch MaxLite commercial retrofit kit and the goof ring. It covers it perfectly. So you have these types of options where you could even change the size of the can and make up the difference with what we're calling goof ring, which is a slightly larger trim ring. We have a question here from Charlotte. Hi, Charlotte. Charlotte is asking, do the cans come with the disconnect? Absolutely. Basically, when you order your can, you're going to choose your can size, 4, 6, 8, or 9 inches today, additional sizes coming later. Then you're going to choose your wattage. Now, you should understand that, for instance, you won't be able to put the 40 watt with the 4-inch can. Will have limitations due to the heat constraints. So the 4 watt, for instance, is eligible for maybe only up to 26 or 30 watts. The 8-inch, the 9-inch will be eligible for all the different light levels. So you choose your can size, you choose the light level or the wattage of the light array that you want, and then we build the whole thing for you, pack it in the box with the trim ring and the other accessories required, and ship it out to you. So it does include the disconnect that is built inside of the can. Now we're looking at a list for the MaxLite commercial retrofits. These are a short list of the dimmer switches that we have been testing. We like Lutron, we like Leviton, we like many others. What we have found is on those first 3 in green, the Lutron, Skylark, the Lutron Diva, and the Leviton IPL10, these all have literally perfect performance at 120 volts for all of the wattages in the Retrofit kit family. However, the Lutron LG-CL, Skylark CL, Lutron Diva C-L, these do have a limited bit of flicker on the low end. The solution is very simple. Just nudge it up very slightly. They are not hurting the fixture or the switch when they're in that flickering mode. Most commercial applications don't require dimming that far down on the scale, so we are comfortable recommending all 6 of these. But if you are going to have extremely low dimming, you want to limit it to the top 3. This list will continue to expand over time. If you have a strong relationship, if you're a stocking distributor for another dimmer brand, let us know. Contact me at gmurphy@maxlite.com or work with your local salesman. We'll be happy to test other brands with our products. Brian has a question. Brian, great question. I cannot stress this enough. These products, all of the categories that we have discussed so far, are not DLC, mainly for the reason that DLC does not have this as a category in their program. The reason that is because Energy Star does have a category. DLC and Energy Star have committed to each other and to us not to compete with each other. There's not going to be multiple specs out there. So it is kind of odd. Sometimes you'll have the whole job where it's DLC, but there'll be 1 or 2 products that actually fall under Energy Star. That's all okay. Your utility companies recognize both because, again, they work together as a whole. They don't work against each other. So just coincidentally that the downlights fall under the Energy Star and not the DLC. Wanted to plug the MaxLite University at the same time, add for those, because I've had a couple of private message questions that come across asking what does IC mean, what does AT mean. I was not ignoring your questions, I was just holding them because I knew these slides were coming. So folks, AT means airtight recessed fixture, and these retrofits are designed to work in airtight fixtures, and airtight is necessary in a lot of municipalities and by code in many places for the following reasons. 1, for energy efficiency. We don't want air conditioning and heating costs going literally out the holes in your can and into the attic. That's one reason. And the other reason is because it creates somewhat of a fire barrier between the floors of buildings. So for whatever reason, AT or airtight rated cans is a requirement in many areas. We also have IC rated, and all of these products we've discussed so far are IC and AT rated. And IC means that it is eligible for insulation direct contact. So if these cans are habitating, say, an attic space where you want to insulate to, again, save energy for heating and air conditioning costs, certain cans are rated for insulation contact and many are not. So we are eligible for our new cans and remodel, and our retrofit kits will work fine inside of those cans that are IC and AT rated. So folks, this was a kind of a quick A to Z across the board education on the product that MaxLite has to offer for the recessed can application. I want to just take another minute of your time to go through some of the services that MaxLite has, including a brand new service that I think you're going to find very, very exciting. But before we do that, I'm going to ask you all to take a quick poll. It's important for us to understand what kind of audience is following us. This is the longest running lighting webinar in the industry. We've been running monthly for over 4 years now, and our audience is growing, and we really do appreciate the following. As you know, we do a lot of commercials. This particular month is a very commercial webinar where we're focusing on products, but they're new products, they're exciting products, they're innovative, and we think everyone will benefit from knowing them. So other webinars, as you know, have been completely non-commercial in that they're just educational. Look for one of those next month where we will be focusing on LED 101. You know, all of us, we've been dealing with LED for years now, but for some people it's still a brand new technology. So for those of you who have friends and colleagues who fall in that category, join us next month. The invite will be going out soon. University.maxlight.com is a service that's free to the public. The Earn Your Lighting degree is a true university like any other online university, except it is 100% free. It is completely non-commercial. The word MaxLite does not come up at all. Through the lesson plans, there are 3 distinct courses that you can take, and again, it's completely free. If you have a colleague who maybe came from the wire and cable industry and now they are in the lighting industry and they need to come up to speed, this is a great resource for you and for them. Your new employees that you hire, have them take the Earn Your Lighting degree courses so that you know that they're up to speed and knowledgeable in our industry. Custom training. If you or your customer requires custom training on a broad overview of MaxLite product or maybe specific product, let me know. We'll be happy to put together a custom presentation just for you. We can present that for you via the internet from anywhere and to anywhere. It may be a non-commercial training that you need, maybe general lighting or LED technologies in particular. If you have a use for this service, feel free to contact your salesperson or contact me directly. Would love to work with you on that. Folks, I see your questions coming up. I'm going to get to them in just a moment. Don't you worry. Last but not least, if you don't take away anything from this webinar today other than one thing, I would like it to be the last bullet on this slide. A quick reminder, MaxLite has built a rebate finder where you can find the rebates for any utility in any state right through MaxLite.com. We will make custom rebate flyers for you. If you are a stocking distributor, say you're stocking a wall pack or an area light, a floodlight, or a canopy fixture, mainly because in your territory it's at a reduced rate, we can make a custom flyer for you that has the utilities logo, your logo, MaxLite logo, and explain how the product is at such a reduced rate for them. We made a custom rebate calculator at MaxLite.com. We can make custom catalogs for you in PDF or Excel format of just DLC or just Energy Star products. And most importantly, if you've got customers or if you're too busy to work with your customer to get the paperwork done to get that rebate for your client, we will help you with that. We will do the paperwork for you. We have Joe Pater and his team of utility experts who will do the paperwork for any MaxLite customer. The only stipulation is that we require 50% or more of the job to be MaxLite product. I think that's reasonable. Also, we don't want to compete with your clients or with you. If you're one of those out there who actually provides that service for your customers, either free or for a fee, we don't want to compete with you. As a matter of fact, we can support you in the background while you continue to market it as your service. So in any way that we can help you, let us know. That's Joe Pater or jpater at MaxLite.com. Now I'm going to get to your questions. Many good questions have been asked. First is, are photometric charts available that show the spread of the beam? Yes, we have IES files for all the products that are currently in the catalog, and we are generating IES files for all the products as they become available to you. Not only will we allow you to have direct access to the IES files through MaxLite.com, and they are all there and downloadable for almost all of our products, but we will do that layout for you. That is another service that we provide so that you can actually see what foot candles you'll have at the job before you've even purchased the first lamp. Contact sales to tap into that resource. I have another question from Cindy. Thank you, Cindy. Do we have a flat panel LED recess with discrete control per fixture? We don't. I'm sorry to say. We are still working with the traditional form factor. We do see a growing number of flat panel recess, 1x1s, 8-inch by 8-inch, even 6-inch by 6-inch, and I think that is a fashion right now, and we will probably work towards that, but I can make no commitment to that at this time, Cindy. Maybe on the product manager's list, but not that I have been privy to. Dave Larson, great question. He's asking, when I mentioned that we have the rebate finder at MaxLite.com, how does it compare to the DSRIE website? Great question. The DSRIE website, Dave, is a great resource of mine as well, and it really doesn't compare. The website you're referring to has all of the utilities regardless of the product. It has all of the utility rebates, where the MaxLite utility rebate is limited to just those that include MaxLite products that are DLC and Energy Star listed. So it's not a full entire list, but it's a list available for the MaxLite products. When you go to the MaxLite utility rebate finder, choose your state and choose your utility, a list of all the MaxLite products that are eligible for that utility's rebate appears, with the description, a photograph, the amount, the dollar amount of that rebate, REBATE, as well as a link to the website and to download those forms. And as I've mentioned, now we'll go to the step further and complete and fill out those forms on your behalf. Folks, that's the last of the questions that have been typed to me public. Any others, we'll keep online for a couple more minutes in case you have any. But if you think of something later, no regrets. I am Greg Murphy at gmurphy@maxlite.com, and email is my favorite form of communication, and I commit to replying to any of your emails within 24 hours. Thank you so much for your time and attention. Happy selling. Have a great rest of the day, folks.